Hey everyone, and welcome. Today we are diving into something really cool, some of the most powerful tools the Indian Constitution gives every single one of us. These are the tools designed to protect your fundamental rights. And trust me, these are just stuffy legal terms. They are basically your constitutional superpowers. So let's get into it. So let me just start with a question for you. Imagine one of your fundamental rights is violated. What do? What's your ultimate safeguard? Where do you turn when you feel like the system isn't working for you? Well, the answer is baked right into the Constitution, in a part that's been called its very heart and soul. That's right. Those powerful words are from Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, the main architect of our Constitution. And when he said the heart and soul, he wasn't talking about freedom of speech or even equality. He was talking about something even more fundamental, the right to actually go to the courts and get your other rights enforced. This is the engine that makes all the other rights work, and it operates through a set of 5 powerful legal tools we call writs. Think of these 5 writs as your constitutional toolkit, okay? Each one is like a unique key, designed to unlock a very specific door to justice when your rights are in trouble. So let's go through each of these keys one by one, starting with what is maybe the most important one of all. First up, habeas corpus. It's an old Latin phrase, and it literally means to have the body. And, well, that's pretty much exactly what it does. It's an order from a court telling the authorities to physically bring a person who's been detained right before a judge so the court can decide if they're being held legally. Now, this is what makes this writ so incredible. Just look at its scope. It's the ultimate shield against being locked up illegally. If someone is detained without a good, lawful reason, this is the key that can set them free. And notice this, it's not just for holding public authorities accountable. You can even use it against private individuals. Plus, literally anyone can file it on behalf of the person who's been detained, which is huge. It means no one gets left behind. And just to show you how absolutely vital this right is, after what happened during the national emergency back in the 70s, the 44th Amendment to the Constitution made it absolutely clear. This right, the right to personal liberty, which is protected by habeas corpus, can't be suspended. Not even during a national emergency. It is an absolute, non-negotiable safeguard. All right, our next key is called mandamus, another Latin term, and this one means we command. And just like its name suggests, this is a direct command from a higher court to a lower court, or more commonly to some kind of public authority. Mandamus is basically the writ that fights inaction. If a public official has a legal duty to do something for you, but they're just not doing it, this writ commands them to get to work. It's a fantastic tool for accountability. It does have its limits, though. You can't use it against private citizens or against the president or state governors. Okay, now our next 2 writs, they kind of work as a pair, and they're all about making sure the courts themselves are playing by the rules. Meet prohibition and certiorari. Now, the easiest way to remember the difference is this. Prohibition is preventive. It stops a problem before it can happen. And certiorari is curative. It fixes a mistake after it's already been made. Let's take a closer look at prohibition. You can think of it like a stay order from a higher court. Its job is to stop a lower court from going forward with a case that it just doesn't have the legal authority or what we call jurisdiction to hear in the first place. It basically nips a potential legal mistake in the bud. And on the flip side, you have certiorari, which is the correction tool. So if a lower court has already made a decision, but it did so without the proper jurisdiction, or if it made a serious error of law, a higher court can issue this writ to completely cancel or quash that order. What's really interesting in India is that its scope is wider here. It can be used to correct not just jurisdictional goofs, but also fundamental mistakes in applying the law itself. Okay, we've reached the final key in our constitutional toolkit, quo warranto. This one's Latin for by what authority or by what warrant. And it's a direct challenge, pretty much asking someone who's holding a public office to prove that they have the legal right to actually be in that position. This writ is really the people's watchdog. It's there to make sure that public offices aren't just taken over by people who don't qualify. But here's the most powerful part, and it's pretty unique. Any citizen can file this writ. You don't have to be personally affected by it at all. It basically empowers every single one of us to stand up and question the legitimacy of public officials. So, we know our 5 keys to justice now, but which door do you knock on? The Constitution actually gives you 2 choices. You can go to the High Court in your state, or you can go straight to the top, to the Supreme Court of India. Let's see how those 2 options stack up. This chart really breaks down the key differences. Okay. First, going to the Supreme Court under Article 32 is a fundamental right in and of itself. That means the court has to hear your case. High courts, on the other hand, have what's called discretionary power. But here's the really interesting part. Look at the scope. The Supreme Court can only issue writs for violations of fundamental rights. A high court can issue them for those, plus for the violation of any other legal right. So, in a way, the high courts actually have a broader power, even though their authority is just within their own state.
So, when you put it all together, what's the big takeaway here? It's that these 5 writs, habeas corpus, mandamus, prohibition, certiorari, and quo warranto, they aren't just dusty concepts in a law book. They are a living, breathing, and incredibly powerful shield that the Constitution has given each of us to protect our liberty and our rights.
And that just leaves us with one final thought to chew on. The Constitution has handed us these 5 amazing, powerful keys. But a key is only useful if you know which door it unlocks, and if you actually use it. So the real question becomes, what does it take for us, as citizens, to be aware of these superpowers, and to have the courage to actually wield them to ensure justice for everyone? Thanks for tuning in.